Hey everyone, today I wanted to kind of take you through a strategy that we do, which is we call it kind of open house on steroids. So as you know, everything's about building a system, building a process so you can it's repeatable, duplicatable, and you can tweak it. Most of the time, what I find real estate agents do is kind of the bare minimums. I'm not sure if it's because they don't know what to do, they just don't want to do what they have to do, or what's holding them back, right? And so like I've said in other videos, it's really about the effort that you put into something. Most successful strategies are not going to be successful by doing 30 minutes or 1 hour's worth of work. Most lead gen strategies are going to take a bulk of your day or a good percentage of your week to execute on, because it takes so many more steps than just 1 or 2 or 3 steps. So if you're going to be successful, the one thing I'll ask you before you even watch all of this video and open houses that we're going to do is, are you committed to the cause? If not, you're just going to waste the next 10, 15, 20 minutes of your time. And I would suggest not to do that. However, if you want to look at how to run open house on steroids, and again, there's other ways to do it. We're not the one all be all, anything like that yet. I wanted to give you guys a system and a process that we already had in place, and it's been very successful for us. I understand some areas are better at open houses for flow of people and others are not. Some neighborhoods are more safe than others. I get all of that. So obviously use your best judgment on this based on where you're at. But I know in the 4 or 5 cities that we've done this in and deployed it in, it's worked very well. So I would suggest most areas this will probably work. So we're going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and take you through kind of a documented process. We'll also put this out in our resource file so you can have access to it. You can customize it as you desire to do so, and make it your own. So as you can see, our open house lead generation documentation is we're the Integrity Home Group, so you can modify that, is active prospecting. If you're going to do open houses at an extreme measure, 2 to 3 open houses a week, and I know some team will have you do 4, 5, 6 in a week as your first newbie kind of thing to do, because one, they want to test you out to see if you can follow the processes and how committed you are, but also this is a great, easy way to get your business up and running. Here's the deal. People will also say, if I'm new or I don't have any listings right now, what am I supposed to do? Well, there's ways that we're going to help you offset those challenges. So, a lot of times these buyers, are going to be, some are going to be ready to go quickly. Some are just going to be looky-loos. So, that's kind of what you're looking for, is kind of going through and just finding people, motivated people at the time, right? Like your sphere is kind of time. It's just based on timing. So you want to be in front of them on a sphere of influence and talking to them in the event something changes in their lives, right? A divorce, a move up, interest rates are going down. Now's the time to move, right? Whatever the case may be, you want to be in front of them. However, with open houses, generally, you either got looky-loos, that's fair. You got the neighbors, that's fair. Yet you also will have some people that are coming in from out of town that don't have a realtor yet, and they're just kind of popping by because they're in town for the week, visiting family, whatever the case is, but they may be looking to make a move. So those are the ones you're kind of looking for. The rest you're looking to nurture. So here's kind of what we talk about in our process. I'm going to get a little bit granular with it because I want you to be able to execute this on a very tactical level. So in order to schedule an open house for yourself, you've got to send a request to agents with active listings in your specific area. So this rules out the myth number 1 is, I don't have listings, I can't do open houses. Here's the plan that we put together. We actually tell you to execute based on our market. Our average price points are around $550,000, $600,000 in the Colorado market. Other areas you might want to adjust that. But here's exactly what we do, right? We go into the MLS and we search for properties that meets an ideal time or an ideal price point. I'm not probably looking at $50,000 manufactured homes because it's not the client base that I particularly desire to work with. I'm probably not looking for $3, $4, $5 million houses that are not the norm for buyers. I'm kind of looking for the sweet spot in the market. Then we're going to choose a location. So again, pick areas that you want to work in. I don't know that it makes sense to host an open house an hour and a half away if you really don't want to attract buyers that you have to take on hour and a half away appointments. So be smart about that. So search through all the listings and then access the listings agent's email. And then we're going to send basically an email to them. And we've got a template that we're going to give you as an example. And what we normally do is email 10, 20, 30 of these people and see if we can pick 2 or 3 of them that would give us opportunities. What you'll find is as you do this more and more and more, you're going to build relationships with other agents, and you'll find some that are just like, they don't want to do open houses, So they'll actually build a relationship with you where they'll reach out to you first and go, hey, you've done such a great job at my other open houses. I just want to let you know I've got a new listing coming on this weekend. I would encourage you, to see if you want to run that open house. Some people are going to say, yeah, you should look for heavy traffic areas. Yeah, I think those things are all important. I think you don't want to necessarily do open houses that are 30, 60, 90 days old. I do think you want something a little fresher on the market. And then basically here's what we kind of do, right? We place the address of the property in the subject line. We keep track of the people who allow us to host as well as who tell you no. So I like to document that. So if I send off 30 emails and I get kind of crabby Annie who's like, you can't do open houses on my listings. Okay, cool. Thanks, crabby Annie. I'm not going to ask you to do it anymore. Thanks for letting me know. No big deal. There's a lot of other people that'll let me, so don't get your feelings hurt. And then if the agent has said yes in the past, they're going to say yes in the future, kind of like what we talked about. So key points is to show how it can be valuable for both you and the listing agent, right? It's a great way to get extra exposure from a different company market center for the listing. It allows the listing agent to have coverage if they are too busy to host themselves. It's a way of lead generation that, one, will help get the property sold, and two, help find you potential buyers. And just frame it as a win-win, because it is. Again, you're going to get some old school people that are just crabby and they're just going to be like, no, you can't do that. My company doesn't let you do that. Okay, cool. No worries. No problem at all. Find the people that will, because I guarantee you there's people that will. Show your value if the agent asks for further explanations, right? Hey, we provide signage. We provide additional advertising through social media. We provide flyers, MLS sheets, lender information at the open house. All we ask for us is that the listing agent enter it into the MLS and Zillow. That's it. Got to think about it. If it's their listing, they're the admins on that listing in the MLS, and we would really like them to put it into the MLS so that way we can basically have it pushed to Zillow and all the other platforms if there's an open house. It makes it very difficult in the event that it's not being advertised out there to the public. So now you're just basically relying on signage instead of the internet to do some of the heavy lifting for you. So a lot of times I'm checking that if, Joey, the realtor, says that I can host his or her open house, I'm checking to make sure that they've actually put it in the MLS, and I'm kind of bugging them a little bit too. Like, hey, just wanted to follow up with you. I know you said I could do an open house. I'm excited to do it. However, I'm not seeing it in the MLS or on Zillow. Just wanted to follow up with you. So be sure to get access information and any special instructions for the property, and be sure to provide feedback. I think that's critical. We want to basically be able to tell the agent so they can tell their sellers, hey, we had 7 people through, 4 were looky-loos, 3 were in the market. I'm going to follow up with them next week. I'll keep you posted. Or, hey, 5 of them came in. They all said the house was amazing. Couple 1 said they didn't like the size of the bedrooms. Couple 2 said the house had a little odor to it. Couple 3 said it was too small, whatever, right? You're just providing them the feedback. So that way it makes the listing agent look really good, and it makes you look good too. So again, roughly 1 in 20 to 30 agent will respond yes. 50% of agents will not respond to you. So again, this is a numbers game. When you send off the email template below that we'll go through, you're going to probably send that. If you want 3 open houses, you might have to go to 40 to 60 to 80 to 90 emails to people to get it done. It's a little bit of a balance, of course, because some people are going to be late to the game that are going to tell you like the morning of, yeah, you can do an open house. Well, that's too late, right? Honestly, that's too late. You're not going to get the marketing. You're not going to get the traffic there. Some agents will ask you that you never ask them again. Some agents will want to speak to you on the phone. Some agents will want to know why you are hosting open houses for other agents, so on and so forth. So it's really just about sharing it with them. Again, it's better to call the agent versus email them, but it's really your call. Always check with them first. So here's kind of our email template that we send out. Hey, listing agent name. I hope this finds you doing well. I'm currently an agent for insert your brokerage, out of EXP, insert your brokerage, and wanted to personally reach out to you. I'm looking to hold an open house on this day and time. I saw you didn't have one scheduled on the subject property and wanted to let you know I'd be more than happy to run one if you're looking for someone. I apologize in advance if you have one scheduled and I missed it when browsing the MLS. If you're okay with me running an open house for you, just shoot me a message back. We can finalize the details. If you would like some further information about how I run open houses, I can provide you with that. I look forward to hearing back from you. Pretty short, sweet, simple. Not all agents read their emails. Not all agents will respond, but again, that's why we kind of had that 1 to 20 and 30. We'll probably get you one. Here's our timeline. This is really critical. Don't start this process on a Friday trying to get open houses on a Saturday. It's not going to work. So Monday, we want to go ahead and find the open house. How many do we want? 2 or 3? Know the math behind it. Know that you're going to have to do 20 to 40 emails out or phone calls out to get one open house. Map out the neighborhood and where you'll be knocking or dropping off flyers. That's what we want to do. We want to door knock and we want to drop off flyers. We'll talk about that. Study the neighborhood, homes, pricing, unique characteristics. You got to become the expert. This is why this takes time. Most agents are like, yay, Jody wants me to go do an open house tomorrow. And I'm going to show up, put a sign in the yard. And then they're like, nobody showed up. Open houses suck. Oh, yeah, okay. You didn't do anything. You literally just drove out, put a sign in the yard, and that was it. Of course, it didn't work out very well. All right, then Wednesday, we want to start sharing on social media. Could run an ad, could boost a post, get family and friends to share. Your agents on your team, in your office, whatever, have them share that you're doing an open house. Here's kind of a side benefit. Even though we will put in there, this is not our listing. This listing is representative of Jody, the realtor. We're just hosting the open house. People naturally still see that as you doing business. You're not trying to trick them. You're literally saying this is Jody's house and her listing, but I'm doing the open house. So you're totally above board and you're not trying to whitewash anybody, but that's how they see it, right? The more open houses you do, people see house and you, they think you're naturally doing a lot of business. Really, you're just working. Thursday, get flyers printed and door knock or drop off around the 50 homes around it at a minimum. We kind of look at the 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 kind of thought process. Email flyer to circle prospecting list, circle prospect 100 neighbors on Friday. Saturday, drop 10 to 15 open houses near the property. Open house signs, sorry. Host open house for 2 hours. I usually don't like to do it more than 2 to 3 hours because I like to condense people into a smaller time frame. If I do it for 4 hours, people trickle in and out all dang day. I'd rather narrow that in so I can get more open houses done and maximize my time. Obviously, we're having you set up a table, have light music playing, sign in everyone in. There's a million ways you can do it. Clipboards, apps, your laptop, whatever works for you, right? Some people are going to be hesitant to sign in. I get all of that. So, just use your scripts and use your best practices for that. Send the unrepresented people that came through a quick text or email stating you appreciate them for coming to see the property. This is all on Saturday. If they would like any further info on the home or any others, feel free to watch. So a lot of times I might have other listings available. So when they come into this property and they go, hey, man, thank you for showing me this house. It's really not for me. The bedrooms are too small. I can go, hey, well, that's awesome. I have some other properties that I'm thinking that might be a great fit for you. Would you be available this evening, assuming that they're not represented or signed agency with another agent, that I could go out and show you? And you can turn them into instant buyers just to go out and build rapport and show them some other properties that evening after the open house. The other thing I like to do that's not in here is I like to test their numbers out. So if they sign in and they give me their phone number, I like to be able to shoot a video before the end of my open house that just says, hey man, it's Mike. I appreciate you guys coming in. It was so great to meet you. I'm glad that you came in from Indiana to go look at houses today. I just wanted to know, let you know that I took note that you wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for under $400,000, looking specifically in the Johnstown area. Right. And that's all I'm doing is just giving them a little bit of value, getting them a little love on video, because not too many agents are sending a video message to the potential buyers of or to the people that attended the open house. I would highly recommend doing that. Do that before you leave the open house. That way you make sure you get it done. Then you can follow up with them on Monday. So Sunday, add all the unrepresented public or people into your CRM, whichever CRM you're using, and then put a follow-up plan. Follow up, stay the course, stay diligent, as it could take 8 to 12 times to connect and have people want to work with you. Open houses typically don't sell the home. It gets agents connected to new unrepresented buyers and allows maximum exposure for the property and the sellers. So again, remember this. They may or may not be pre-approved right then. They might be starting the really early process. They may just be looky-loos right now that you can convert into buyers in the future just with follow-up practices. So obviously, here's some of the best practices for preparation. For each open house hosted by an agent, the agent should complete the following list of information. What other homes are in for sale in a 2-mile radius? I talked about that earlier. You want to be able to be armed with that in case they're like, yeah, man, we're looking for a house. We got to move in the next month. We don't have an agent. Time is of the essence. Well, that's awesome. If you're not represented by anybody, I'll take you out this evening and we can go find some other houses. Actually, here's a couple of them if you're interested right now. Any additional open houses in the immediate area, the feeder schools for the area, you might want to have that information. Be armed with the local market expert. If you just are kind of like, yeah, I don't really know much about this city or this neighborhood, you're not going to get the business. Any HOA information, area service providers, prior to an open house, prepare with the hosting kit. So these are things like flyers, MLS data for the property, neighborhood sales data, business cards, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through all that. If you want to do refreshments, great. If you want to do swag, that's fine. Whatever you want to do is up to you and how you run your business. Prior to the open house, the agent should organize the signage. So obviously these are key things for us. Drive the neighborhood a day prior. Have you ever heard that planning is critical to success of anything? Go out and pre-plan, drive it. Take a Google map with you, print it, and put down where you think you're going to put the signs. Again, the more signs, the better. Agents should have a minimum of 10 to 15 open house signs, 2 of which could be sandwich boards, right? The sign should be placed strategically on main intersections. If the property is secluded, use more directionals, 15 feet apart, directing people into the home. You know what gets people's attention? You go by those new build communities and they got freaking flyers and banners and crap everywhere, right? It works, it catches the eye. That's what you need, you've got to do. Obviously put the sign in the yard at the listing. Sometimes we like to do that 3 days before, and we might actually even put like a black piece of tape on there and we'll write in white marker, open house on Saturday, 8 to 10, right? Or 10 to 12 or whatever it may be, right? So we're pre-advertising it on the street as well. I won't go into the more, obviously we talk about door knocking, the 10 by 10 by 10. We got a lot of information there. We talk about leaving a flyer at those houses. It's a great way to get listings. Open houses are not just for buyer leads. You want to be looking at, the neighborhood wants to be able to see the actions that you're doing. Could you get somebody crabby at you knocking on a door? Sure. However, what other people are going to see is you're out hustling what most other agents are doing for an open house, and it could attract them as a listing for you. During the open house, we try not to bombard potential buyers when they first enter. Let the customer walk around for 30 seconds or so and then introduce yourselves. Say, I know you're not here to see me, but if you have any questions, my name is Joe Blow. Wait until the end of conversation to ask about having a realtor. If they say they have one, ask for the agent's information so you can let them know the buyer stopped by. I like that strategy because a lot of times people are always say, yeah, I have an agent. Oh, that's awesome. And they're just snowing you, right? It's just like walking into Walmart and somebody says, hey, do you need help with anything? And you're like, no. And really, if you're a guy, especially, you're like, I really have no idea where any of this stuff is, but I didn't want to be bothered by a salesperson. So, kind of that's that mentality is, put them on the spot and go like, hey, oh, that's awesome. Who is your agent? I'd like to, maybe I know them or I'd like to thank them for having you come by and let them know you swung by. If they say yes, provide agent information and have them sign agreement and with said agent. It's a little bit dicey at that, but I don't mind asking those questions. If they said, hey, I've got it, what have I got to lose? I'm not going to see these people again. I'm not sign crossing. I'm truly just asking the question, hey, have you signed an agency with Joe Blow that you mentioned about? Because sometimes they may be like, nope, we haven't. And actually we like you and you've done good follow-up. Plus you want to know if you're sign crossing. I mean, obviously if they're going to be like, yep, I've got an agency and it's signed with Joe Blow, then I'm like, okay, best of luck, Joe Blow. I'll let them know you came by and good luck with Joe Blow. All right, build rapport. If not, understand their disc profile. I'm big into the disc. I'm gonna kind of skip through some of this. So then obviously we have the follow-up. So after completing your open house, immediately within 24 hours, follow up with the leads that were not accompanied by a realtor by doing the following. Call them, thank them for attending the house. I also think you should shoot the video at the end of the open house and send it to them. You're going to mail them, send them a thank you note. How many agents after an open house, if you got their address anyways, are sending personal thank you notes for coming over? It makes you different, right? Put them into your CRM. Maybe add them into a custom friends list on Facebook called your open house list. Now you can target them through various, you don't have to necessarily go one-to-one to them. You might through Messenger, and people might go like, ooh, that's creepy, a realtor's ad. No, man, people add people all the time to Facebook. Worst case is they don't accept your friend request. Who cares? Send email to or call the listing agent, provide detailed feedback. So again, we want to close the loop with the agent. We want them to be able to invite us back to do more open houses for them. Be a professional. Tell them anything and everything you found out about the buyers coming into the property. The last thing is safety, safety, safety. It's always a good idea to have another person with you at the open house, whether that's another agent or a lender partner. It's always a good idea to let someone know exactly where you are and what you expect and when to expect you to be home. We have a process that's just called the red folder. If you're uncomfortable situation, call someone at the team and say, I need to pull the red folder. If we hear the word red folder, we know that somebody's in trouble. Bring protection of some sort, right? Whatever you desire and you're comfortable with is something that I would advise you to do as well. Unfortunately, in today's society, there are some creeps out there. They're trying to take advantage of realtors. So make sure you provide all the safety. So I hope you understand, or you felt like there's so much there, and it was intentional to overwhelm you. And why do I want to overwhelm you? Is because you need a process. You need a checklist. If you're just doing open houses where you literally don't have to think about it, I'm guessing you don't have a lot of business coming out of those open houses. Normally, again, every market's going to be different, but normally what we see is every 6 to 8 open houses will potentially get a buyer out of it at some juncture. Doesn't mean it's immediately, could be another 3, 4, 5 months. So think about this. You're building a pipeline. If you're doing 6 to 8 open houses, and let's just say that's about 3 to 4 weeks worth of open houses, right? If you do 2 a week times 4 weeks, that would be 8. You're probably picking 1 to 2, maybe one buyer a month out of that is probably what I would say. So for me, I would double it. I would do 4 open houses a week, maybe do some during the week, some on the week, mostly on the weekend. Don't overthink. Do people come on weekdays versus weekend? Who gives a crap? Get out there, right? That's my opinion, right? Get out there. If you're going to sit around at home and not lead gen, go out and do an open house. That's pretty simple, right? So go out and do those. And that way, if you're doing 4 times 4 is 16, now you're potentially picking up 2 buyers in a certain period of time in the future. And those are closings. I know people that have just closed nothing but any and all of their business through open houses. Doesn't have to be the one source, but it works. But it only works if you do it at a super, super high level. You can't just go put a sign in the yard and hope people show up. That's the freaking lazy way, cheap way, cheater way. And the results are going to reflect that. So anyways, hope you found that helpful. And the documents will be in our resource file over there. That way you can rip off and duplicate it as you desire. And I hope you found that lead gen strategy helpful.